and welcome back to the most amazing top 10 channel on the internet. I am your host Rebecca Felgate, and we are getting into some mysteries, which you know I love because I'm a Curious George, or Curious Jane because once again that is my middle name. Good! Before we get into this video, why don't you guys let me know what your favourite mystery of all time is? I know you're a sleuth. I also really just like the word sleuth and will take any excuse to say it. Personally, I am all about exactly how ancient structures like Stonehenge and the pyramids were built. Was it an ancient civilization? Was it aliens? I just don't know, but I love the mystery. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. While you're down there, why don't you do me a favour and leave a thumbs up on this video, it just makes me very happy. Share it with a friend. If you haven't subscribed to Most Amazing Top 10 yet, then go ahead and do so. And please do check out the links in our description box to our Most Amazing Instagrams and to all of the source links that went into making this video. Let's kick things off at number 10 by rolling in the dough. We have the bank robbers. Obviously, robbing a bank is amongst one of the most stupid things you could ever do, but to get away with it takes brains and strategy. It turns out that John Morgan and Ashley Jubo were lacking a few brain cells when they posted images of themselves with wads of cash on Facebook. Curious, right? Morgan robbed a branch of the savings bank in Asheville near Columbus, Ohio. After the images were posted, they caught the eye of officials who did some research and discovered that Morgan didn't have a full-time job. So where's the money coming from? They did some sleuthing, and along with the Facebook post, they were able to connect him and his girlfriend to the crime. Do the crime, do the time, and they did. Coming in at number 9, we have the beach. I mean, if you're running from the law, I guess be careful about whose friend requests you accept on Facebook, right? 26-year-old American Maxi Sopo, originally from Cameroon, defrauded $200,000 in Seattle and successfully fled the country to relocate to Cancun in Mexico. They didn't let anyone know they were there, but they were found. That kind of money would go a long way in Mexico, so Sopo was kind of living a bit of a baller life and bragging about it on Facebook. What an idiot. I guess that he thought that it was cool to update his Facebook status, along with living in paradise and loving it, because maybe he thought he had like stringent security settings and people wouldn't know exactly where he was, just that he was balling. Unfortunately, he inadvertently accepted a Justice Department official to his list of Facebook friends. Fool! His Facebook updates never said exactly where he was, but the eagle-eye investigator was able to figure it out from the background of his posts. Long story short, they caught him. He spent 33 months in prison. More serious at number 8, we have the missing teenager. In December 2015, a Facebook page called Grateful Doe was used to identify an unidentified dead male who had been run off the road in 1995. A post of images of the man, including a restoration of his look, was made for Facebook with the caption, "Do you know me? Died in a car accident on June 26, 1995, estimated 16 to 25 years old, 5 foot 8 inches, 169 pounds, star tattoo on the upper arm, and blonde hair dyed red." It seems that he was killed in a hit and run in Virginia, and the internet decided to try and close this case. The post was shared, and eventually he was identified as missing 19-year-old teenager Jason Callahan. Jason was never reported missing as his mother thought that he'd left home. One of the admin for Grateful Doe wrote, "I've been sitting here for how long in shock for the sadness for him and his family, but also for the fact that here on Facebook we're making a difference. Because of everyone here, this man was finally able to make his way home. Albeit dead, but still at least his mother had some closure." The power of Facebook. Coming into number 7, we have a Facebook Live stabbing. In 2019, a man in the Three Rivers area of Quebec was stabbed whilst live streaming at his home when a friend came in and, didn't know that he was broadcasting though, and it seems that a viewer alerted the police and immediately an arrest was made very quickly as a result. The Facebook stream will now be used as evidence in court, however the charge has not yet been made. Coming into number 6, we have the solver of this 37-year-old mystery. Okay, so this is actually quite a long one, but I'll do my very best to summarise it for you for this video, but there is once again a link in the description box for all of you interested in learning a little bit more about this and our other sources. So basically, Basically, back in 1978, the bodies of 25-year-old Chris and 24-year-old Penny Frampton were found in Guatemala. The pair were traveling from the United Kingdom and were childhood sweethearts who were murdered. It seems that they were driven off on a boat by an American, Silas Boston, and they never returned. To cut a very long story short, Chris's sister Penny and her family suspected Boston all along, but the police report of the man said that he'd moved back to California and he'd never been charged, and it was very difficult to pin a crime on someone in the 1970s when there wasn't a lot of information. Also, in the 1970s, the death in Guatemala wasn't easy in terms of getting information back to Britain, where he was from. Recently though, in 2018, Penny decided to search for Silas Boston on Facebook, and she found him. She just couldn't let it lie, she wanted to search. The case had been long cold, but she did some sleuthing for herself. Penny then contacted the Sacramento police, who had reopened a case into Boston's missing third wife. Now, it seems that Penny was actually able to get in touch with Boston's sons, and an image of the then boys, his sons, with her brother on their dad's ship emerged. The sons came forward to say that they knew that their father had killed the two young British tourists. It turns out that Boston had also killed two more tourists as well. It seems that police were able to track him down and arrest him. The story is a lot longer and more dramatic, but those are the highlights for you. Facebook wins. The right to remain silent applies to you, but not to your smartphone, and that is coming into number 5. Facebook is landing a lot of people in jail, and honestly a lot of people are on the fence about it. It seems that in the United States, police officers have a right to collect cell phone data without having a warrant. You don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy on Facebook or your Facebook messages. Police are able to read private Facebook messages and go through Facebook search history data. Some people are okay with this, other people consider this a violation. Whatever your opinion, it has been used to solve crimes and convict criminals. On the other hand though, some people post stupid things on Facebook and don't realise that actually their joke threats or idle threats are being taken seriously, and then police officers show up at their door all from a silly Facebook post. People are ending up in court. I don't know, what do you think to that? Can you joke on Facebook, or should people be joking about serious things like that? Let me know your thoughts. Okay, this one is very bittersweet and then bitter again. Justice hasn't been served here. Coming into number 4, we have the case of CAROLEE ASHBY. In 1968, there was no Facebook, no crowdsourcing of information, just a team of police officers who were working with physical paper files and lower quality identification technology in order to try and find their evidence. 1968 was the year that a 4-year-old girl died on Halloween as a result of a brutal hit and run in upstate New York. At the time, police did what they could, but the case went cold. Fast forward 4 decades, and one of the former police officers on the case, the now retired Lieutenant Russ Johnson, posted the story on Facebook saying that he regretted never finding her killer. The story was shared on Facebook and then shared again and then shared some more, and it seems it reached a woman all of the way in Florida. This woman had a friend who was scarred for life after she was the passenger in a car that hit a child on Halloween in New York in the 1960s. It was discovered that the man driving was Douglas Parkhurst, who was 17 at the time. Now, the passenger carried guilt with her whole life, but never turned the man in. After this tip-off from Facebook, police then went in to question him, and he even admitted to the crime. Sadly though, the statute of limitations had passed and he couldn't be arrested for the girl's death. Ooh, this is a juicy one at number 3. We have Facebook finding a member of the Mafia and bringing them to justice. The Mafia! The Mafia is an organised crime ring originating from Sicily, but famously has terrorised the United States, Italy and beyond. Recently, a Mafia hitman who called himself, I quote, Scarface, was arrested for being tracked down via Facebook. Pasquale Manfredi was on Italy's 100 Most Wanted list and had been on the run for a year. Officers were tipped off that Scarface was using Facebook and logged in every now and then to keep up with his friends and kill lists. Great. To try and keep his disguise, he would log in using the name of Georgie, and it's believed that he would receive coded messages via the Facebook Messenger app, which basically contained the list of people he needed to kill next. Using top-range surveillance, eventually his IP address was secured and he was tracked down to an apartment in southern Italy. When Scarface was caught and arrested, his laptop was then seized and his Facebook scoured for other Mafia links. An officer on the case said, Manfredi is a good catch. He is particularly cold and cruel. We tracked him down because we had information that he was using a key to log onto the internet and in particular use Facebook. Justice served. Coming into number 2, we have the blogger who helped solve the Steubenville abuse case. In March 2019, a 45-year-old crime blogger created fake Facebook and Instagram accounts to do some online sleuthing around a rape case in her former hometown. Alexandria Goddard had read a viral article online about the case, which really was a hot topic at the time. Alexandria said, "I used to live in Steubenville, where the high school football players were treated like NFL players," and this actually did seem to be the case with Trent Mays and Malik Richmond, the teenagers that raped Jane Doe. She's a victim whose anonymity is protected, but known by many in the town. Alexandria said, "I thought that there was a lot more to this story and that the local media was probably not giving it the coverage that it needed because it was the football team." She said, "I went to the football team website, I pulled up the team roster, and started going through social media." Alexandria was able to follow the boys online, and she uncovered a string of incriminating evidence. Alexandria then used Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to expose the boys who had posted smoking gun evidence of the attack to their friends. Disgusting. The boys were arrested and charged, and justice thanks to one blogger who was paying attention when the town looked the other way. Finally, coming into number 1, Facebook was used to solve the murder case of Brittney Gargol. Back in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in 2018, 18-year-old Brittney Gargol was found strangled to death. A chunky black belt was found near her body, and criminologists suspected that it could have been the murder weapon. It turns out that the case of who killed the teen was solved when Cheyenne Rose Antoine posted an image to Facebook, which police say was instrumental in solving the crime. The image was of Gargol with Antoine, and Antoine was wearing none other than the black chunky belt found near the body. The image was posted hours before the teen's death. Now, it seemed that the killer had tried to throw police off the scent by posting her own Facebook messages asking where her missing friend was. She had killed her. After the image linked her and the belt found at the scene of the crime to the death, Antoine pleaded guilty to manslaughter, saying that she and Gargol had gotten into a drunken argument. She was sentenced to 7 years in prison, which to me, like 7 years for a murder that was provably you, I'm kind of shocked, but there we go. I guess at least she served time. So guys, that was the top 10 insane mysteries solved by Facebook. What did you think to this list? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Should we do a list about YouTube? Have many mysteries been solved on YouTube? I bet that there have been. You loved our 4chan video, so maybe you're into mysteries, which I suspected to be true. I'm gonna take one more opportunity to say the word sleuth, because I might not get to say it again today, or maybe even for the rest of the week. Sleuth, uncovering truths. Good. Great. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you once again for leaving a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate. We've got a whole playlist, so stick around and watch those. But until then, I will catch you next time. Bye!